Happy Halloween! Well, almost. All I know is that horror is upon us. Wanna see something scary? Oh, if I had an actual body, I would be pissing and shitting right now. The only thing more scary is a horrifying Pokemon with horrifying stats. Ugh, now that's very scary. Good thing that's not real. Ugh! Oh, you can't scare me like that. On the subject, the Ghost type houses some of the most universally loved Pokemon out there. And Game Freak knows that. So finding something with not a lot of love for a video like this was not easy. I could have spent like 6 minutes talking about how sweet it would have been to have Shadow Tag Chandler fucking up the scene in Gen 5 before becoming lost media in Gen 6. Except not really, because they made motherfucking Mega Gengar. But I want to shine the light on something more obscure, and some of my favorite ghost types. The Drifloon line. Before there was a Drifloon and, I guess Gen 4 as well, there was Barunda, one of the many Pokemon that didn't make the cut into Red and Green. We don't know much about this Pokemon other than the fact that it looks like a genuine menace to society. Some speculate it was a pre-evolution to Jigglypuff, or an entirely different Pokemon. This may even be the inspiration for Drifloon. Meanwhile, Drifblim's design is genius, going from a magic balloon to an air balloon. But there has to be more to these things. After all, they are spooky ghosts. Okay, balloon in the room here. Drifloon's Pokedex entry states it kidnaps children and drags them to hell. Wait, the English version omits that. It just says it takes them away. To hell! Huh? What's that? Hello Internet and welcome to Spoopy Theory, the only show clinically proven to get bitches. Do not talk to you. Now Drifloon may seem like a notorious kidnapper, but is it really capable of such crimes? I think not. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out on September 28, 2006, and according to the study I randomly found, Japanese kids in the 2000s around the age of 10 weighed about 80 pounds or 37 kilograms, and Drifloon only weighs 2.6 pounds or 1.2 kilograms. That's around 40 times its own weight. Either Drifloon is secretly an ant, or this is just folklore. Now why is it just Drifloon kidnapping kids? You don't hear Drifblim doing that with adults or kids. Do they just give up when they evolve? All it does is carry Pokemon and people. Wait a minute. So people like to fixate on Drifloon kidnapping people. But what people may not know is how mysterious and ominous Drifblim is. It's drowsy in daytime, but flies off in the evening in big groups. No one knows where they go. At dusk, swarms of them are carried aloft on winds. When noticed, they suddenly vanish. They carry people and Pokemon. The raw material for the gas inside its body is souls. It grabs people and Pokemon and carries them off somewhere. Where do they go? Nobody knows. A man took a trip riding a Drifblim, only to go missing. There's a rumor that if you catch a Drifblim floating on the wind at dusk,
you'll be carried away to the afterlife. They obviously are based off of air balloons, but there's a more mysterious origin to their design and behavior. Space jellyfish.
Now, what the hell are space jellyfish? There is the more literal explanation of NASA sending 2,000 jellyfish into space,
only for a freak accident to occur where they escaped and are plotting to return to Earth, more powerful and resistant to our planet than ever.
Okay, that part isn't true. But what also is up for interpretation is the cryptid aspect to the phenomenon of sunlight reflecting off of the plume of gas from rockets going into space, which are called space jellyfish. Sometimes it can be just space debris. Sometimes it could be unidentified flying objects. Sightings of these cryptids can be discovered across the globe, followed by images that can only be described by looking at them. They float in our atmosphere, drift even. This could be the darker inspiration for Drifblim on what it really is. A UFO. After all, they do have a fixation on taking unsuspecting people and Pokemon as dusk arrives. The Pokédex claims it has no control over where it goes, but maybe that only applies horizontally. As far as going up, it knows what it's doing. How these Pokemon stay afloat is up for interpretation. It's possibly running on the souls of those it kidnaps. Or something. Yeah, anything but helium, because it will all be depleted in 15 to 20 years.
This is all pretty chilling stuff. Haunting, even. But the only thing more haunting
is how awful it is, and how Game Freak for a while just made it incredibly rare. Why is this Pokemon only available on Fridays in this one specific spot? And why is this the only way to get Drifloon in Gen 4? You can't get it in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and even those games lets you get Spiritomb through the Pokewalker. Meanwhile, in Legends Arceus, they're much more abundant. Oh god, maybe the helium theory is true. And would you believe that in Gen 4, Unburden was their signature ability? Yeah, for such an amazing ability, it is strange that for a while, these guys were the only ones with access to it, and they're not bad at it. They are pretty limited into what they can do, but you can run some kind of berry and set up Calm Minds to sweep your opponent. However, its poor defenses make this more gimmicky than practical. Yeah, it's got the highest HP for non-legendary ghost types, but Chikorita has higher defenses.
Are you kidding me? Not
In Gen 5, it gets access to gems, which are more reliable ways to proc Unburden without needing to take damage to consume your item. Are there better Unburden users? Of course there are better Unburden users. Drifblim's lucky Hawlucha never got access to Flying Gem Acrobatics, which was one of the most popular sets ran by it. And they ain't even a physical attacker. Yeah, Flying Gem Acrobatics hurts, but it mainly ran it because of the Unburden boost. What other physical moves does it run? Sucker Punch? Oh wow! What was the point of the speed boost if you're going to run a priority move? It did have Explosion in Gen 4, and it hit harder than its fellow exploding ghost pal Gengar. But past Gen 4, you don't run Explosion because of the nerf removing the part where it halved your defense. So it's clearly a special attacker, so it gets good special moves, right? Well, kinda, but not really. Obviously, Stab Shadow Ball is good, and it even gets Thunderbolt. The only drawback is that Drifloon is just really bad. 90 special attack is nothing special. Fucking Ghastly speed ties this thing and hits harder with a small chance of just outright one-shotting you before you can activate Unburden. Ghastly.
How can you use the special attacking flying type? There is no special attacking flying moves. Oh wait, there's Air Cutter. Also, you can run hidden power flying. Who do you think you are? Aerodactyl and Gyarados in Gens 2 and 3? Now what about Air Slash? That's the most basic solid move you can get when it comes to using special attacking flying moves. Well, guess what? Drifblim would have to wait until Gen 9 to get Air Slash. Now why so long? It's not like it got added to its level up set either. That shit's a TM move. Did they forget to give it Air Slash for 16 years? It didn't make it any better because it's still fucking terrible. But the option of running a decent flying move would have been nice. At least non-attacking wise. It's got great support moves. Just like many Ghosts, it has Will-O-Wisp, which is definitely the only reason it's on Flint's team in Diamond and Pearl.
What the hell is that? It's a...
If you outspeed your opponent, you can sub until you activate your berry, I suppose. You can't trick items onto your opponent, and Strength Sap is pretty neat in later generations. The only downside is that Drifloon's just bad. It's so bad. Ghost Flying is weak to, like, way too many common types. And without a Focus Sash, it has absolutely no use in any tier it's not in. So does Game Freak truly despise this poor creature by giving it so many shortcomings? Well, yeah, but as some sort of consolation prize, they gave it another signature ability. This time only the Drifloon line has this ability, Flare Boost. This is a weird one. Everyone is familiar with Guts, and most are familiar with Zangoose' weird inferior version, only working on poison. Flare Boost is the special variant, but only with burn. It doesn't make you immune to the damage, but a 50% boost to special attack does sound neat. Now, did this help Drifblim in any way? I don't need to answer that. Despite it all, I do enjoy researching Pokemon I like because I find out pretty interesting stuff. Like this thing learns Gyro Ball. Yeah, that will go great on my Unburdened set. Also, someone made a Drifblim creepypasta? Why is it on the Some Ordinary Gamers wiki? How do these two things correlate? So what have we learned today, folks? These things are not spooky, if they can be such pushovers. Anyways, it's getting dark. I gotta get to the Big Bash.
Well, in order to get to the party, I must travel through the forest of the damned. Oh, God. Oh, fucking Christ. Well, only a few more hours of climbing through this, and I will be into the plains of... Oh, I forgot what they were called, honestly.
Just a few more minutes, and we'll be at the party. I'm feeling kind of tired though. Oh my. What is that? What the fuck is that?